Hey guys, Evan Chino back with a video. I wanted to make a video talking about the Detroit Tigers. Obviously, all of you saw yesterday that the Tigers fired their vice president and their GM, Al Avila. And it was a long time coming. He first got promoted or got hired as that position 22 years ago, all the way back in 2000, and there's been a lot of ups and downs with him. He was with the team in 2003 when the Tigers lost 119 games. He was with us in 2006 and 2012 when they won the American League and went to the World Series. Didn't win any of those, but he was still with us. He was with the team when Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown back in 2012. We've won multiple division titles with him, multiple playoff games with him, but this was a long time coming. Tigers have not been in the playoffs since 2014 when they lost the 2014 ALDS against the Baltimore Orioles, and it has been 8 years, and it's going to be, because there's absolutely no way the Tigers are making it this year. They are 43 and 69. We are one loss away from 70. We are the second worst team in the American League, the fourth worst team in the MLB in general. And with the team we have, you'd be surprised. You know, we brought up big names, Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green from the minors, thinking they would make a huge impact. Riley Green has been amazing on defense. He's always there to make catches. I haven't seen him make many errors, and he's had like 3 or 4 diving catches this season alone. Riley Green has been really good on defense, but on offense, he's been a disappointment. Torkelson, he's barely played because of injury. We brought Austin Meadows in from Tampa. He's barely played from injury. Brought in huge name Javier Baez he was at the Mets, but he was mostly known for playing with the Cubs, won a Golden Glove with them, and he's just been terrible. And we signed like a 5-6 year deal. He's been terrible. He hasn't done anything. He leads the MLB, not just the team, but the entire MLB in errors with 17. He's made 17 errors this year. No other player has had that many. He does lead the team with home runs. Him and Candelario lead the team in home runs. You know how many? 10. And there's only a month left. And the leading home run scorers on our team only have 10. Even the Cincinnati Reds, who started out terrible with only won 4 of their first 28 games or something. 3 of their players have hit more home runs than Baez and Candelario. How is it that we bring in these big name players and we can't do shit? Sorry for the language, but I have been a fan of this team since 2011. And that is because of my grandpa. Every time when I was younger, 2011, so I was 9 years old, when I would go to his house, if the Tigers were on, they were always on the TV, and I would always watch it with him. And that is the main reason why I am a Detroit Tigers fan. I will be until the day I die, from thick and thin, for better or worse. No matter how good we are, no matter how bad we are, I will stick with this team till the day I die. So it is very frustrating. Year after year after year after year, we just continue to bring up mediocre to terrible seasons. 2019, we had 114 losses. That was when we had the disaster of a manager, Ron Gardenhire. We just haven't been the same since it's just terrible. We haven't been the same since the Jim Leyland days. When we had Jim Leyland as our manager, we were amazing. That was when we had big names. We still have Miguel Cabrera, but obviously he's older. Cabrera's going to be 40 next year. He's not as good as he used to be, but he can still come up clutch. That was when we had pitching. We had Justin Verlander, who left and won a Cy Young with Houston. He didn't win one with Detroit. Then we had Max Scherzer, who left to win a Cy Young with Washington, who's now at the Mets, I believe. And then we had Rick Porcello, who ended up leaving and winning a Cy Young with Boston. And then we also had, those are the big three for pitching. Hitting, we had a lot. We had Victor Martinez. Obviously ended up growing to be bad, but that's just because he got older. We had big names like JD Martinez, like Johnny Peralta. We had just a lot of good players. I don't know why I can't think of a lot of them right now, but it's just, what the frick? There is a huge grasshopper on my car right now. Can you see that? Hold on. Look at that. Look at that thing. What the go away. Anyway, so our batting was stacked, you know? Every year in the beginning of the 2010s, the stacked teams we had, the stacked pitching we had, we could have, you'd be surprised we didn't win a World Series. The only reason why we didn't have a good bullpen. 2013, going into the 2013 postseason, the Tigers were favorites to win the World Series. They would go to the ALCS, but they lost to Boston. Why? Terrible bullpen. We would have good leads in those games, and then our bullpen would come in and allow them to come back. Biggest example, Game 2 in Boston. We had a 5-1 lead in the 8th inning. They load the bases, and then we had Joaquin Benoit in relieving, and then David Ortiz hits a grand slam to tie the game. We ended up losing that game, ended up losing the series, and then Boston would go on to win the World Series that year. I thought we got our bullpen figured out. Obviously not, from the amount of games we've choked this year. Thanks, Gregory Soto. Surprised we haven't traded him yet. I mean, you saw that game against Tampa earlier. We were 0-0 in the 9th inning, and then Gregory Soto comes on, starts allowing a lot of runs, got the loss. He's 2-6 this season. A reliever shouldn't have that much bad of a record. A reliever that doesn't really come in until late in the game shouldn't have 6 losses on his record. It's just frustrating. 2021, we went 77-85 after starting 8-24. So when we ended up finishing that well, I said, man, if we would have just not had that terrible start in April, we probably would have made the playoffs last year. So that made me, and then we started bringing in big names. That gave me optimism for this year. I shouldn't have listened to it because we're freaking worse. We're 43-69. Terrible. Absolutely dog shit terrible. I just wanted to come on here and talk about the Tigers. But seriously, something needs to change. Hopefully our next guy, Sam Menon, the guy is coming in. Well, obviously he's just interim. But the guy we bring in next had better do some good. And we'll see you.